You're ready.
Hi, Hank. It's Grandma. Remember when I read this book to you? The Little Fish That Got Away. Okay? Are you ready? The Little Fish That Got Away. Once upon a time, there was a boy who liked to go fishing. There he goes. Over here on this page. He went fishing every day, but he never got any fish. No fish. All he ever did was catch a bad cold. But one day, he dug some worms and he put them in a can and he got his fish pole. Then off he went with his fish pole. And there he goes. He came to the place where he liked best. He put a worm on the pin, and he put the pin in the water. And he waited, and he waited, and he waited. Then he saw a great big fish. It swam around and around and around and around, just like this. It looked at the worm on the pin. It wiggled its great big tail. Then it swam around and around and around and around, right back where it came from. The boy waited and waited and waited. Then along came a great big fish, and it swam around and around and around and around, just like this. It looked at the worm on the pin. It wiggled its great big tail. Then it swam around and around and around and around, right back where it came from. The boy waited and he waited and he waited. Then along came a big fish, and it swam around and around and around and around, just like this. It looked at the worm on the pin, and it wiggled its tail, and then it swam around and around and around, right back where it came from. So, the boy waited and he waited and he waited. Then along came a little fish, and it swam around and around and around, just like this. It looked at the worm on the pin and wiggled its itty-bitty tail. Then it swam around and around, right back where it came from. The boy was sad. "I will not catch any fish today," he said. Then he looked down into the water. Look! And there in the water was the great big fish. It was coming back again. It swam around and around and around and around. And it looked at the worm in the pen, and it wiggled its great big tail. Then it ate the worm, and the boy pulled the great big fish out of the water, and he put him in the basket behind the tree. He put another worm on the pin, and he put the pin in the water, and soon the great big fish came back again, and it swam around and around and around. It looked at the worm on the pin, it wiggled its great big tail, and it ate the worm. And the boy pulled it out of the water, and he put him in the basket with the other great big fish. He put another worm on the pin, and he put the pin in the water, and soon the big fish came back again. And it swam around and around and around. And it looked at the worm on the pin, and it wiggled his tail. Then it ate the worm, and the boy pulled the big fish out of the water, and he put it in the basket with the great big fish and the great big fish. He put another worm on the pin, and he put the pin in the water, and he waited, and soon the little itty bitty fish came back. And it swam around and around and around, and it looked at the worm on the pin, and it wiggled its tail, and he looked at the worm again. The boy sat very still. "Hurry up, little fish, eat the worm. Then I will go home and show mother and father all my fish." But would the little fish bite the worm? It looked and it looked, then it looked again, and it swam around and around and around and around, and right back where it came from. That made the boy laugh. Ha 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 ha! He was laughing. Then he picked up his basket with the great big fish in it, and the great big fish in it, and the big fish in it. And he went home, just like this. When he got home, he showed his mother the fish. She was very happy to have the fish. She cleaned them and she cooked them up for supper that night. His father ate the great big fish. His mother ate the big fish, and the boy ate the great big fish because he was so hungry. Then the boy told how he got the fish, and how the little fish would not eat the worm on the pin. And they all laughed and laughed about the little fish that got away. Good night. Good night, Hank. I love you, baby. Bye-bye.
And that's Hank right behind you.
I know.
Point it out to Hank.
Here's Hank. Here's Hank over here. I love you, Hank.
Love you, Hank.